In the Gospels, Jesus asks his disciples an important question. Who do you say I am? Over 2,000 years later, this question continues to reverberate in the human heart. Some have only given this question a cursory thought. Others have spent years pondering the answer, searching the scriptures, and looking for evidence. This spring, Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry team with researchers and experts who have studied the Shroud of Turin to once again pose Christ's question to you. Who do you say I am?
Today, many students go to college with numerous questions about their faith, yearning to know if the seed planted in them as a child is both true and practical. Using the miracle on the road to Emmaus as a model, young adult ministers conversed weekly for 3 months with college students about the most pressing questions they had about the Catholic faith. As they journeyed together virtually, something amazing happened. Doubts disappeared, fears faded, and Jesus revealed that He is still alive. Hearts Burning Within Us, the latest book from Patchwork Heart Ministry, is a result of that grace-infused conversation. It is the perfect back-to-school gift for recent high school graduates and current college students. Get your copy for them today at patchworkheart.org or by calling 424-704-3278. That's 424-704-3278.
Welcome to the Sowing Hope podcast. This is a show all about implanting hope in our hearts. I'm Bill Snyder, joined by my friend Ann DeSantis. We're glad you're here for our uplifting conversation about faith and how it sustains our hearts through all the seasons of life. Thanks for walking with us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Sowing Hope. I am Bill Snyder. It's great to be with you this evening. And unfortunately, my co-host Ann DeSantis could not join us for this episode, but we send her, as always, our well wishes. And it always happens every once in a while that either one of us couldn't make a taping or a recording of the show. So we always give a quick shout out to our co-host who cannot be with us. But then we like to quickly move into our guest for the evening. It's wonderful to have Kent Kuholski. He is the founder of Fiat Ministry Network, and you can find him and his amazing work at fiatministrynetwork.tv. And Fiat is such an amazing partner of Patchwork Heart Ministry, and so much of the work that we do, we do with Fiat. So, Kent, it's always awesome to have you on the program, man. Thank you so much for joining us on Sow and Hope.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. And, before we announce our newest and most awesome project, I think we ought to just kind of quickly go through what Fiat is all about, and maybe how it got started, because there's probably some new listeners. I don't think you've been on Sowing Hope. I know you've been on Young Catholics Respond, but our Sowing Hope audience doesn't know you and maybe Fiat as well as it could. So share with us a little bit about Fiat and everything you got going on there.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. I've been doing this for when live streaming and all of this was not very cool and very easy to do. Back probably about 12 years ago, I started. It really started with a retreat that I went on, Encountering Christ. It was called Tech, and so you would hear all these testimonies that people would share about their faith journey with Christ. And I'm like, man, that's really powerful. So a friend of mine that was a minister, youth minister, mentioned, why don't you call your, I was talking about ideas that I want to do something online. And why don't you use Fiat, Our Lady's Fiat, saying yes to Jesus Christ? So that's what I kind of did. And trying to use testimonies to, encourage all to say yes to Jesus Christ. And so we've been building up for over 12 years of live streaming. I really, it was great to, finally meet you. And, we did a couple online conferences and all that. And it was really fun to, kind of just hear other people's encounters with Christ. So that's kind of what we do. We do a lot of video. Back in the day where, we were using very, I mean, the technology has really, anyone can with a phone can live stream really. But what I like to do, and I kind of am, building into FMM productions where it's more video. I've have a couple people that I work with, that want to have a professional looking podcast where we do video and then they can also use the audio, but to really make it professionally looking, have that kind of, I always go with the, kind of the way of, oops, sorry about that. Kind of the, professional way of, using audio and video in their podcast, because everybody, with a podcast back in the day, it was all audio, and now everybody's doing video plus the audio side of things. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then I know with you, Bill, we've been talking about a couple of projects, and I know we want to talk about that tonight too, but really excited to do video because really that's where everybody's at. I mean, everybody wants to hear something or see something. I'm a visual learner, so I love when YouTube came around. You can learn about anything. If you need to fix something, you need to learn how to do something for the family, and you can really be your own personal, like teacher through the good stuff of videos and YouTube. And then on the side of faith, we're all disciples, and we're always, God wants us to evangelize and talk about him and share his son, and share everything that we can do on this earth prior to being with him. And so that's kind of what, how small you are, how big you are, it doesn't matter, but it's just encouraging all to say yes to Jesus Christ. And so that's really the story.
And no, it's amazing the work that you do. And, really, I encourage everybody to check out fiatministrynetwork.tv, your website, but also your YouTube channel, right? You got to search for Fiat Ministry Network on YouTube and become that subscriber, because you have so much amazing content, and you do a wonderful programming. You have great programs on the network, Fiat Ministry Show, and a bunch of other ones. So people can really tune in and find masses, find homilies, find whatever they're looking for to enliven their faith and deepen their faith. And so, folks, just go out there and subscribe. Just go out there and subscribe right now. Take that moment, or maybe right after the interview, take that moment and go and click the subscribe button. And the amazing thing that I think brought you and I together was the fact that we both have the passion for, number one, the Lord, number one, to, share the faith in this manner, but also to do so in a way that is beautiful, right? And stunning and professional. That's one of the things you mentioned. And Kent, you've got the lower third right up there, right? Like it's there, the spinning box, Fiat Ministry Network. It's awesome, right? But it is to make it look beautiful and to make it look, eye-catching, true, good, and beautiful, right? Those are the transcendentals that draw people into the faith. And so, when you're able to see that beauty, and do it from your computer or your smartphone, watching these engaging programs, it really, really deepens your faith. And as we've progressed, as you mentioned, we kind of did a bunch of, little live conferences here and there on YouTube when we first got started working together. But, over the past, at least 3 or 4 months now, we've been talking about doing some more cinematic stuff, right? Doing some documentaries and some more cinematic things. And that's where this whole idea for who do you say that I am came from, right? And maybe you want to tell us a little bit about your connection with the Shroud and how you kind of got a little bit interested in it and some of your connections there too.
Yeah, really, it was really great. I have a lot of shows in the past that hosts come and go. There was a woman, Missy DeConti, that was doing faith, family, and yeah. I'm trying to think now. Well, but the whole faith, life, and family, and so yeah, I was right. And so what she would do, she would have basically people on each week, and she had someone, Brian Walsh, who is a expert on the Shroud, and we did a 3-part series on the Shroud, and we did another series on the Holy Star of Bethlehem, and so and we also, I just started or trying to edit Our Lady of Guadalupe series that he's done. So he's done a couple of things with Fiat, but we are hoping to add a little bit more to the project that you're talking about, Bill, with him, and kind of enhancing it in the sense of really make it professionally looking and really get that encounter of the Shroud. What do people that personal encounter when they see it? Do you
Yeah.
do you I am that, and so that personal encounter, and that expertise that Brian has, that he can just share a lot of the the things that we don't really understand, that he can really explain very well. So we're hoping to combine that, to have the people to share their personal encounters with the Shroud, and also to bring in experts about the Shroud.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think when we were all talking and we had a conference call with Brian, gosh, it was probably 3 or 4 months ago before Christmas. And we were talking about one thing that really stood out is, who do you say that I am? I mean, when you watch the documentaries on the Shroud on History Channel, right? They'll go through all the science, they'll go through everything like that. But the one thing they don't go into is that personal encounter. How does this make you, as a believer in Jesus Christ, feel? And beyond the feeling of it, does it deepen your faith? And so one of the really cool things is that we actually have access to a full-length replica Shroud. So no, it's not going to be the actual Shroud of Turin, folks. They're not just going to let us walk in there with cameras and go film that. But we have access to a full-length replica Shroud, thanks to Marytown and the Man of the Shroud exhibit. I want to give a big shout out to them, and thank you to Marytown for allowing us to film this full-length replica Shroud. And so we're going to actually be hosting an event at my parish, St. Francis of Assisi in Milwaukee, in a couple weekends. So February 24th through the 27th, which is a Thursday through a Sunday. You're going to actually be able to come out if you're in the area, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, greater Milwaukee area. You'll be able to come out and see this exhibit, see the full-length replica Shroud, along with 31 pop-up banners that explain all of the science of the Shroud. And then in addition to the Shroud and all the banners, they also have a replica crucifix based on all the wounds of the shroud. So, all these different scientists that have studied it, they have an actual crucifix that says, okay, here's what Jesus's body would have looked like crucified on the cross. And so that's pretty cool. And you're going to be able to walk through the exhibit, take as much time, it maybe takes you about a half hour to walk through and read all the different panels and everything to gain some perspective. But it's a, personal encounter. And we're also going to be capturing and inviting the participants, right, to come, just like you mentioned, Kent, to come in and give their reaction to it, give their testimony, say, man, this was incredible. It touched me deeply. This is what I was thinking about. And, who do you say that I am? Is it Jesus? Is it not Jesus? And so we invite those people to come, and we invite them to be a part of the documentary. And then, of course, as you mentioned, we're going to pair that with Brian's testimony and Brian's, scientific knowledge of things, so that we can really drive home this beautiful relic that we consider to be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ. I'm pumped about it. About it. I can't wait for it, for that time to come in a couple of weekends when we're going to be able to film the replica, and we're going to be able to get ourselves situated. But we encourage people, and if you're outside the area, and you'd like to be a part of the documentary, you're watching, you're like, oh man, I can't make it to Milwaukee, but I have a story, I've seen it, or I just want to be a part of this in some way, please reach out to us, right? You can easily do that. It's very simply, we actually created an email for this the documentary, which is just shroudfilm@patchworkheart.org. So you can email us at shroudfilm@patchworkheart.org, and get in touch with us and be a part of the film in that way too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's the great part of that. Even if you can't make it, you can share through, maybe a story or a quick video, and possibly we could add it into it or whatever. But yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
To do that. And no, I'm really excited about it, because it's something that, like you were basically saying, you listen to a lot of the expert and all that, and we're going to have that, and we're going to definitely put that in. But then that personal encounter is so much more, and I think you'll get something more out of it, because like when we Bill, you were mentioning our discussion with Brian on when we were doing a Zoom meeting with him, and he gave out a couple testimonies that he over the years heard, and I was like, let's record that. I know that they probably have they're much, they probably have passed away, but they were but the stories were just so powerful, to have that. And so I'm like, okay, that's the example of what. And I wish we recorded it. I should have recorded it on the Zoom, just because it was such a powerful story. But yeah, it's just, well, that part I think will get people to share, and with their friends and family. And I think that's just so much more to it. And so I'm really excited to be part of it. I'm excited to meet you in person, so very excited.
Yeah, that'll be a blast too. I think that's always a benefit of being able to do in-person production work. And just so you know, folks, we still are in that COVID time. So here in Milwaukee, there is a mask mandate in effect. So if you are listening and you do want to come out for that event, we do ask that you wear a mask and just be respectful of our city's mandate at this time. But of course, we are excited that things are opening up, that we're able to have in-person events like this, and we're able to capture these stories of people, real life, real reactions, that deepen the faith, right? That deepen our faith, in Jesus. So I am, and you're probably hearing my 9-month-old in the background trying to go to sleep. So I apologize to our listening audience, but I really do, encourage people, just, come on out for this event. And I'm going to, if you're in the area, and you probably saw the trailer before. If you missed it before the show, you can catch it after the show. We're going to run the trailer again. We have a little tiny teaser trailer. Again, shout out to our awesome voiceover guy, Adam Frank, for his awesome movie trailer voice that neither of us have. So it's great to have him. But yeah, I mean, this has been an awesome project. I can't wait for it to unfold. And if you're interested in being a part of it, as I said, shroudfilm@patchworkheart.org. It's that simple, folks.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you again, Bill, for getting involved. I mean, getting me involved in Fiat, because it's such an honor to be part of that. And I think sharing, and I think we have a couple other ideas coming, in the future, but we got to focus on one thing at a time with everything else going on in our lives. But it's a start, and it's one of those things that really will be powerful, because you look at that, and what do you think that who is that on who is on the shroud? And that's I really want people to really focus, and hopefully they can give us whatever time that they can as they're walking through, if they want to 5 minutes or whatever time that they have, to just share what they feel. I mean, because it's a feeling, it's that emotion, that encounter, like
Yeah.
you were saying too. It's that personal relationship with with something that you're looking at, even though it's not the real thing, but it's it's showing everything exactly how it's supposed,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a
that's the
full-length
thing.
replica. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a full-length
so
replica. And it's one of the incredible things. I've actually seen this exhibit, folks. It's called The Man of the Shroud. It's a traveling exhibit. You can go to colbyshrine.org to check it out if you want to check it out beforehand. It's not the whole exhibit, but the information about it. And if you go over and check that out, you can actually bring it to your parish free of charge. So it doesn't matter where you live in the United States, you can bring it to your parish free of charge, this exhibit. And it's very powerful. It's beautiful. I've seen it 2 or 3 times. I've been privileged to see the exhibit 2 or 3 times. So, you're not going to catch my first reaction on the film, because it's not my first reaction to it. But it's a beautiful thing just to go see. And if you're interested in bringing it to your own parish in, gosh, I don't know where, anywhere in the contiguous United States that can go. It's in a trailer, and you can come pick it up and take it to your parish. So just go on and take a look at it online if you live a little far away, and maybe even consider bringing it out to your parish.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that they and thank you, Bill, for everything that you're doing. I mean, to get it all set up and everything. So thank
It's
you
gonna be fun.
for
Oh
your
yeah, it's
time.
gonna be fun, man. I can't wait. I'm grateful for you here tonight. I know you got another show, so I don't want to I don't want to hold you up.
No.
But I appreciate your time coming on tonight, and talking a little bit about this, giving a little bit of a teaser to our audience.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Watch for more trailers, because they'll be coming shortly here in the beginning of Lent. We'll have more trailers, more content to show you. So we're super excited about that. But yeah, thank you, Kent, so much for coming on Sowing Hope and being a part of the show. And why don't you just give people your email and everything, even though it's on the bottom of the screen, give them your email.
Yeah, the email, the best place to, it's Kent at fiatministrynetwork.tv. Or if you need any video production work or anything like that, it's just FMN and then PRODS@gmail.com. We kind of cut off the production, but if you look for FMN Productions, we're really trying to build in that sense too, of doing any podcast or anything that you want it professionally, that bringing your vision to life is where that is, and we want to share that. And I think that's what we're trying to do with the Shroud. uh, and that's really what we're excited about doing too. So thanks, Bill, again for having me on.
Oh, of course. Anytime, Kent. And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to go over to patchworkheartradio.org. That's our new podcast site, and you can find all of our programming. And in addition to the programming, you can find the video and the audio all married up together on that website. So check it out, patchworkheartradio.org. But until next time, from all of us here at Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Radio, keep beating to your Catholic heart and sowing hope into those broken hearts.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Sowing Hope on Patchwork Heart Radio. For more information about this podcast and our ministries, visit our websites, patchworkheart.org and andesantis.com. You can also follow and interact with us on Twitter at PWH Ministry or Andy Santis 2.
In the Gospels, Jesus asks his disciples an important question. Who do you say I am? Over 2,000 years later, this question continues to reverberate in the human heart. Some have only given this question a cursory thought. Others have spent years pondering the answer, searching the scriptures, and looking for evidence. This spring, Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry team with researchers and experts who have studied the Shroud of Turin to once again pose Christ's question to you. Who do you say I am?
Today, many students go to college with numerous questions about their faith, yearning to know if the seed planted in them as a child is both true and practical. Using the miracle on the road to Emmaus as a model, young adult ministers conversed weekly for 3 months with college students about the most pressing questions they had about the Catholic faith. As they journeyed together virtually, something amazing happened. Doubts disappeared, fears faded, and Jesus revealed that He is still alive. Hearts Burning Within Us, the latest book from Patchwork Heart Ministry, is a result of that grace-infused conversation. It is the perfect back-to-school gift for recent high school graduates and current college students. Get your copy for them today at patchworkheart.org or by calling 424-704-3278. That's 424-704-3278.